is we are doing a mail merge through Word. Now, it's one of those things where, I've used mail merge in the past, usually to print out form letters and that type of thing, but we can email through it. And one caveat with that being is that we're doing it through Word, so it's using Office products, right? So it's using Outlook to send the email. And that being said, it kind of does it in the background. It does it by default, so there's no changing the sender. So what we'd have to do is, in the case where an OA is going to do this for the manager, on that computer, we would have to set a profile with the manager's email address and set that as default to do the send. And if you're doing it from the computer with your own email address, that doesn't have to be done because there's no options to change the default sender. But again, a simple thing, it's just 2-3 clicks. It just takes a little setup. So if that's going to be the case, shoot me an email because everyone will try to contact me at the same time, and I'll get back to you and we'll set up those situations as we go. We'll set up that second profile so that we could send from the manager's
Carla, it's
account.
Deborah. I'm on a
Okay?
Zoom. Did you need
Does
some?
that make sense? All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So there's two things that we're going to need in order to do this. All right, guys. First being our email addresses, and that being a CSV. Now, I've kind of just created one here, and I've added myself and the boys here just to kind of show you what we need. Now, as far as what Brokermetrics gives you, I'm sure it's going to spit out a CSV file of some sort, and whatever it gives you, and it might give you more fields that you might not need. Just keep what you need and keep it simple, right? So get rid of all the fields that you don't need. And as far as order, it does not matter because we will map the fields, okay?
Hey, Eric.
And yeah.
Real quick, I think we might need to wait a couple more minutes. In the chat, it looks like it's been requested if that's a possibility.
Someone's waiting. We're waiting for somebody? Sure.
Recording, maybe we should have recorded.
Well, I am recording this. Yeah, I am recording this, so we can post it for you.
Okay.
All right? And again, very simple thing. But right now, let's do this. What I did want to mention is now, if you notice, and this is just kind of my practice when I do these types of things, since I work on a lot of databases here. First and last name are separate. I'm not sure what Brokermetrics is giving you guys. The reason I do this is especially because we want this to look like it's a personal thing, not a form letter. Especially like if you use it in your opening line, you say hello. If it says hello, Eric Flores, you kind of know it's a form letter, right? So the only way to do that is to separate these things. I'm not sure what it's giving you, but in the case where it gives you, let's say, one field for the name, like that.
It gives us first and last, Eric.
If it gives you first and last, no problem.
Two separate
so
columns.
We won't even go. Yeah, we won't even go through the text to column then. So okay, that's good. So that's what you want. All right. So what you're gonna do, guys, is you're gonna again clean up your list. Cleaning up meaning all the fields that you don't need, just get rid of them. You need, in our case here, we're just using first, last, and email address because we need the email address to send to, right? Again, we are saving as a CSV. So no matter how it gives it to you, I would do a save as. All right. And then what you're doing is then there is a couple different CSV file formats in here. You want to really stick with this one, the comma delimited here. There's MS-DOS, there's all these other ones. You just want to do comma delimited. All right, and save it that way, because that's the format that most everything is going to read and most everything wants when we're importing CSVs. All right. Okay. So that being said, that's our first part of this process. I won't save because I already have this saved as I want it. I'm putting it in a separate folder just so that I could have both my files together in one place and know where to go look for them, as opposed to having it on my desktop and having to go look for it, that type of thing, right? So the next part of this process is going to be, we're going to go to Word. All right, let me bring that over here. You guys, let me get rid of this. All right, so we're starting from scratch here with Word. We're going to open up a new document, new black document here. We're going to mailings. We're doing start mail merge, email messages. All right. We're going to select recipients, use an existing list. We are then searching for our list. All right. And we're adding that in. All right, so now we're going to compose our message. So we are going back to greeting line. And it did a different for me, so I guess we're going to go this way here. We will do, I want to do that. I just want to write it out here. Let's say in our case here, what we're going to do is we're going to do hello. And I just want to do the first name, right? So I would format it as I usually do, and what I want to do is I want to concatenate, right? Fields. So I'm going to do insert merge field. Now this gives you the fields that our headers, our header names have on our CSV file. So in this case, I'm just going to do first name, right? I don't want to do first and last because that just seems a little, again, like you would know that it's a form letter, right? And I would then continue to write, you know, your message out. In this case, I'm not going to go too crazy. This is a test, right? And if you wanted to see if it's going to populate it for you and go through the names, what you can do is you can do preview results here, right? So that's giving you Eric. That's the first name on my list. I can scroll through all my recipients. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Miguel, and just keep going. Again, guys, that's pretty much it in that sense, right? But we still got to finish the process here. But again, yeah, go ahead.
The comma needs to be after the person's name.
Oh well, yeah, no, I'm not formatting correctly in that sense, Deb, right? So I'm just telling you, yeah. But that in that case, yeah. So that's why we do the preview, right? Now I could go back and modify my greeting line here, turn off the preview, and then yeah, Deb's right. I formatted that incorrectly, right? So I go that way, and then I can preview it again. All right. This is a test, and you know, continue to write out your message. If it were a different case, I think in our case, all we're using is name, and then the body of the email is pretty much the same. But if you were going to use any other like field for every single letter, you would have that on your CSV, and you would add it too. But for our intents and purposes, that's all we need here. Okay. So once you have your message composed and completed, and you're ready to go, and you've gone through your recipients and the whole deal. Then what you want to do is first save, right? And here. Again, I'm putting it in my folder where I know where it's at. Yeah, there we go. I see it goes off of the first thing you typed in Word. So here we'll call it mail merge. Mail merge. We're going to save it. All right. And basically that's it. Like what I said, once it's composed, we can now send it. All right. So to send it, what we're going to do is we're going to do finish and merge. All right. Send email messages. So what that does is it brings up a dialog box. So now here's where I told you guys that we can't, it just defaults to the default user on Outlook. So we'll have to set it up if we're using someone else's email, which is not a problem. That's an easy process also. Now on mine, it recognizes that my field name was email addresses. It might not on yours, but you're able to see all the fields that you have on your CSV and select the correct one, okay? Here you would do your subject line. That's going to be on every single email. In this case, again, we're just going to do test, right? And you can select who you're sending to, and most of the time you're going to do all here. That's not, that's what we're going to do across the board. But you can select if you wanted to just certain records or just one if you're just displaying one current record or that type of thing. All right. And then all you're going to do is you're going to hit OK. And technically, you guys, that's the whole process. It just emailed me. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Let's see if I've got it. There it is. And I'm sure Johnny and Miguel can tell you that they've got theirs too. And like I said, guys, that is pretty much it in a ball of wax here. Although, again, now what I'm noticing right now, and sorry guys, I hadn't noticed it before, it didn't populate my signature on there.
That's what I was
So
gonna ask.
that may be one of those things, yeah, where we're gonna have to put the signature when we compose the email, because I have a signature by default and it's not adding it on there.
So you
Guys, any
put,
questions?
That was my problem. I had to paste it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna, yeah, because it is going off of the default, so it's not actually, it's kind of going through the background, not of Outlook, not it itself, so it's probably not adding any of our formatting on there. So basically on our Word doc, guys, we're gonna have to populate our signatures, and all our formatting's gonna have to be done on there. So if you want a specific text or something, font, I mean, or something like that, all our formatting should be done on the Word document, and then that's going to populate over. Let's go ahead and try it again. All right. And again, I'm sending you guys, I've created a little, where I took the screen caps and kind of wrote the instructions for you guys. So you'll have this to reference, all right? But again, it's easier once you see it once and you go through it, and then you reference this and it kind of makes more sense, right? So you'll get this, and as soon as we're done here, I'll send this to all of you. And it just kind of outlines the whole process that we did. Well, let's go through it one more time here. All right. This is our Word doc, and basically what I'm going to do is, actually, just so I don't have any other formatting, I'm going to create a brand new one from scratch. Give me a sec, guys. Let me open up a new Word doc here. All right. Again, guys, I have to minimize it. The Zoom doesn't let me. I can't even see it from here. Okay. All right. So again, from scratch here, what we're going to do is we're going to go into mailings up here on the top of the over the ribbon, right? And we're going to do start mail merge. From here, we're choosing email message, all right? And then the formatting of the screen changes a bit. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to link it to our CSV file, to our data source, all right? So we're going to hit select recipients. We're using existing list since we have a CSV. Then we're going to navigate to our CSV, all right, and hit open. Now again, we're going to greeting line. It's going to, make us do this thing. I'm guessing we could just cancel out of it because we don't necessarily want this here. We kind of want to do our own formatting. It's kind of a wizard, so to speak, right? So I'm just hitting cancel there, right? And then I'm going to write my message. Whatever you want to do as your greeting, hello. For our intents and purposes, I'm going to put the space in, and then I'm going to do insert merge field, right? So if within the body of your email, you want to reference them by name again, you could just, again, get to that place where you want to reference them and then just pop this field into where you need it to go and then keep on going. All right. Hey guys. So again, for our case here, this is the only field we're using. So we're going to preview our results, and we're going to know that our data source is good. Like I said, I have 3 names on there, so I can see that it's populating all 3 of them. All right. At the point when we finish, and of course, we'd want to tack on our signature line. Just copy it off, one of the ones that you've sent out or from your Outlook. And then we're going to do finish merge once we save it, and we're going to send email addresses. Again, we're gonna make sure we're on our proper field that holds our email addresses. Type in our subject line. And yeah, always leave the default here, HTML. That's what Outlook sends out. So you don't have to change this, no plain text or anything like that, because it has a couple options. Always just kind of go with your defaults. Your default being send to everyone on your list. And we're hitting OK. And that's it. It sends out all 3. Or however many you would have. Yeah, Deb, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know how many managers have it, but below their signature, well, my boss has the, what is your home worth? The, the little link you click
We'd
on.
have, yeah, we'd have to test that out because I'm not sure if it'll show as the actual, because that's a hyperlink, so I'm not sure what it would
Right.
show. We'd have to try it.
Yeah,
So we could get together after this and try that out. And in worst case, just for this, for our intensive purposes, for sending this, since we are sending other real estate agents, I don't know that it's necessarily something that has to be there. We can't make it work
exactly.
under
Right,
these
yeah.
constrictions. Yeah,
Okay, that sounds right to me,
So,
to not have it there if
we'll
you
go
it's
from there.
not gonna work.
All right. So again, guys, again, very simple procedure. It's just, I'm pretty sure once you do it once or twice, and even like I said, me doing it the second time right now, I forgot everything completely, but I'm pretty sure if I keep doing it a couple more times, I'll remember it. So I'll send these instructions out. And again, if it's an OA that's going to take on the task of doing it, please contact me, send me an email so I could get with you, and we'll set up your manager's email account on a separate profile, and I'll show you how to go through that whole process. All right. So any other questions, guys?
Eric, I was just gonna say, I think most of us probably have that link, so if it doesn't work for Wendy, let us know. I
Yeah,
got that.
yeah, we do. And what I'll do is as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna just go ahead and try it and see what pops up. Because what'll happen is it's in Word. I'm not sure how it's gonna transmit that link. If it's gonna show me the link behind it, or if it's gonna show me the actual text. I would assume so, since it's working under the same framework of Office, that it would work. But until I try it, I couldn't tell you. So I'll do a couple tests after this, and we'll go from there.
So we have to just basically take the lists that we have and create an Excel list to be able to then go do this.
Yeah, CSV list. Yes, correct.
Okay,
All right, CSV, because if you save it as an Excel, there's formatting that most of these programs, maybe this one because it is Microsoft, might be able to read it, but most don't. So
Eric,
you have to keep it as simple, comma delimited.
Yeah.
Broker Metrics lets you export to CSV.
Yeah, most do, because everyone knows that you're importing and exporting these things. CSV is the way everyone does it. So yes, for the most part, yeah. Unless you actually created something separate, but obviously it's easy enough to save as CSV.
since it's just a first name, it's gonna be pretty easy to create the list.
Yeah. Again, just because, and that's just my own personal thinking. If I receive a letter and it says "Hello, Eric Flores," I know that's a form letter, right? And we kind of want to give the impression that it's more of a personal touch. Obviously, you'd want to do, but I mean, if we're emailing to hundreds of agents, we don't, we can't necessarily do that in an efficient manner. So, it's all you can do. You have to do these things, right?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, guys. So again, I'm sending these instructions right now. And if you get lost or anything, please do give me a call, or the guys here at the office too, Miguel and Johnny. They're versed in this, and we'll walk everyone through it, and we'll go from there. Like I said, very simple thing. And you save this thing, and once you go, like I said, I tell you, save it in its own little folder here. Then you could come back to it, as long as you don't change the formatting, and you could always change the content of your letter, right? Oh, sorry, I opened up a second one. You could always, to do a follow-up, but you can always add names and information to the list. As long as you don't change the fields, you'll be fine to use the same ones. You could just keep adding new people onto it, or taking people away, and using the same Word doc and the same Excel, just modifying it to your needs. All right?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So, like I said, unless we got any other questions, thank you for attending. And again, just contact us in the office if you need a little help with it, and we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you, Eric.
Great.
All right, guys, I'm sending that out now, all right?